Rules for the Agency by XxMiserySmilesxX. Note: I am disappointed that this had to be made, but it did, so now you all have to deal with the consequences of your actions. Fukuzawa. Updated Agency Rules. Number 1. You may not use detective work as an excuse to stalk people. A. This includes Dazai, even if some of you still don't consider him a person. 2. Dazai, just because two people you've mentored have started dating doesn't make you the supreme matchmaker, and I won't get you a badge saying that. 3. Chuya, stop giving me reasons to put you on this list. You aren't even in our organization. 4. Just because you have no idea what healthy relationships are doesn't mean you should describe getting stabbed as a meet cute on reports. A. Or getting shot. B. Or poisoned. C. Or kidnapped. D. Or all three, though hopefully not in that order. 5. Rampo, curiosity killed the cat is not an acceptable way of telling Atsushi you don't want to answer his questions. 6. Though I won't name names, to whoever is stealing the donuts I bring in, no, we do not believe your boyfriend's raccoon ate them. 7. Please stop inviting Port Mafia executives in our base. Why is this a problem? This should not be a problem. 8. Rampo, stop telling people that your skill is fueled by Scooby snacks, as a way for them to buy you Scooby snacks. 9. If you are given a grocery list, then please purchase the items on it. 10. Yes, Dazai, that means that 4 tins of cat food and 2 gallons worth of wine bottles don't count as weekly groceries. Number 11. Dazai, stop putting oranges on people's faces while they're asleep to make them fruitier. 12. Kenji, just because Chuya or Dazai did something while they were your age doesn't mean you should be allowed to do it too. In fact, the opposite might be considered true. 13. Rampo, stop sitting on tables, or standing on tables, or dancing on tables, or sitting on someone else while they sit on a table. Just no more tables. Number 14. Dazai, Kunikida punching you is not a hate crime. 15. Kunikida, you punching Dazai is not an act of public service. 16. Atsushi, begging Kunikida to punch you as well is not promoting workplace equality. 17. Please silence your phones during missions. I don't want you dying because California girls went off at top volume while on a stakeout. 18. Rampo, stop trying to start a true crime podcast investigating Dazai. 19. Dazai, stop offering to guest star on Rampo's podcast. 20. None of you should be live streaming casework. What part of client confidentiality do you not understand? 21. Atsushi, never, ever, under any circumstances, take relationship advice from Dazai. 22. Akutagawa, if you want to see Atsushi, please come up with a better excuse than I left my coat here. If you actually left Rashomon here, our building wouldn't be standing. 23. If Kunikida falls asleep, you may not draw rude things on his face. 24. Rampo, just because no one has ever seen you and a Lullite in the same room doesn't mean anything. A. The same thing goes for Akutagawa and Mothman. B. Yes, this logic was actually true with Atsushi and the tiger, but that was a one-time thing. 25. Dazai, stop offering to adopt Atsushi. He is better off staying an orphan than having you as a parent. 26. Kenji, stop sending Atsushi videos of cats meowing and requesting him to translate. 27. Stop stealing my swords for dramatic swords fight when I'm not here. 28. Dazai, I'm sure that somewhere out there are people who would be interested to hear about your sex life. I am not one of them. 29. No prank calling the Port Mafia. Koyu knows it's you. She's emailed me. Number 30. Stop framing Dazai's suicide notes or editing photos of them for your Pinterest boards. We have zero need for what you've been calling the Mummy Man Sad Hours collage. 31. None of you are allowed to run for president. 32. No writing any of the following names on official agency paperwork for anyone. 1. Lord Dazai. 2. The Great Dazai. 3. Bandage Man. 4. Stupid ugly ass motherfucker in reference to Dazai. 5. Ginger. 6. Slug. 7. The Fancy Hat Man. 8. Sigma Male. 9. Murder Clown. 10. Russian Daddy Squad in reference to the rats. And 11. Feudora. 33. Please take down the Days Without Mafia bullshit counter. A. No, changing it to Days Without Russian bullshit counter is not the solution to this. 34. Dazai, stop trying to trick Rampo into investigating wild conspiracies. Just because you can convince him Bigfoot is real doesn't mean you should. 35. Rampo, stop trying to use ultra deduction to solve the FNAF lore. 36. Making Port Mafia smash or pass lists doesn't count as research. 37. Yosano, feminism or supporting women's wrongs is not justification for committing or aiding crimes. 38. Murder being consensual doesn't make it legal. That is to say, just because Dazai will let you, you can't shoot him. 39. None of the following are secretly the motto for the agency. 1. Live, laugh, love. 2. Any of the lyrics to the song Mr. Brightside by the Killers. 3. Any John Mulaney quote. 4. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. 5. Fuck around and find out. 40. Akutagawa. Stop recording clips of Dazai speaking and splicing the audio together into new sentences to send to Chuya and cause an argument. 41. No editing photos of Mori's face onto drawings of girls in maid outfits and putting them into official files. 42. Do not write, send, or design wedding invitations unless you are getting married. 43. Yosano, stop claiming you're a licensed therapist and offering to give people therapy just so you can have more gossip and share with Rampo. 44. Dazai, stop mass emailing your co-workers existential quotes at the hours of 12 to 6 a.m. 45. Do not try to purposefully antagonize Yosano. She's violent enough as it is. 46. Atsushi, stop retweeting rage tweets about you saying you agree. It's just sad. 47. Rampo, no more loudly shouting, "I told you so!" at people on the police force and dancing, even if you did. 48. Don't purposefully pull stupid pranks to see if I'll add them to this list. 49. No water gunfights in the office. 50. No Nerf gunfights in the office. 51. No actual gunfights in the office unless we are under attack and it's in self-defense. 52. No flamethrower, crossbow, water balloon, snowball, dodgeball, chainsaw, knife, sword, or fist fights either. 53. If you accidentally set something on fire, the correct response is to find a fire extinguisher and put it out, not to walk away and hope someone else gets it. 54. Dazai, just because you find a shipping container in the storage doesn't mean it's a sign that we should have an agency slumber party. 55. Rampo, stop greeting your co-workers into the agency by saying password, then locking them out if they fail to respond. 56. If you need to look up if an idea is legal, then it's probably not a good idea. 57. If you have to call into work late because you are kidnapped, do it over text, not email. 58. Rampo, please do not practice your saxophone skills during meetings. Actually, do not practice your saxophone skills. Ever. 59. Dazai, absent father of two, is not a valid resume entry. A. Nor is suicide enthusiast. B. Or yodeling. I know for a fact that one is a blatant lie. C. Also, your name is not Jim, and you aren't 45. D. Looking over this resume more, I no longer believe this is your resume. Where on earth did you get someone's resume from? What are your goals here? 60. Stop hiding Akutagawa's inhaler when he visits, or trying to give him a vape instead and see if he notices. He will absolutely notice, and you will not survive. 61. Kenji, stop offering to let Chuya beat you up while you use your ability as a way of getting his anger out. He needs to learn to deal with it in a healthy way. 62. Kunikida, I am not going to require any of my detectives to get along, as that can only happen organically. However, keeping a notebook entirely consisting of dated entries noting every single time Dazai annoys, inconveniences, or disgraces you is not helping. A. After writing this, I noticed the notebook was labeled as number 78 in the series, and that the dates went back only the past week. I am concerned. 63. Dazai, if I ask you how you are, I'm expecting you to say good or bad, not what Taylor Swift album era represents your life and why. Number 64. Stop trying to sacrifice Tanizaki and Chuya in an attempt to purge the world of the ginger blight. 65. Yosano, stop abbreviating things. When you ask people if they want to play Barbie with you, they think you mean the doll, not the barbiturates. No one enjoys being pumped full of sleeping drugs. 66. Atsushi, yes, you are good enough with technology that it would easily be possible for you to program the speakers to play Defying Gravity every time Chuya walks into the base. This, however, does not mean you should do it. 67. Yosano, a casualty report of 3 deaths, 4 hospitalizations is unfortunate, but sometimes unavoidable when missions are dangerous or unpredictable. However, I sent you and Rampo to IKEA to pick up a bookshelf. 68. Calling agency meetings to discuss important breakthroughs in a case is totally fine and encouraged. Calling agency meetings to spill dirt on your coworkers is not. 69. Yosano, stop turning every mission into an excuse to dress up Atsushi. If you want him to wear a cute outfit you picked out, just ask. He will not say no. Number 70. Please, at some point, hold a meeting explaining some of the technology we use to the others. I am baffled to how you manage to use high-tech weaponry when half of you still don't know how to forward emails. Atsushi is an orphan, and even he has managed to figure out how to use spreadsheets. 71. The appropriate response to seeing a dead body at a crime scene is respectful surveillance to aid in the investigation. It is not clapping your hands and shouting "absolute mood" while pointing at the corpse. A. It is also not commenting about the attractiveness of a victim. B. Or trying to fish out the victim's wallet and see if there's anything that won't be missed. C. Yes, we know what you're doing, Dazai. Nobody has that many coupons. 72. Yosano, if you're too drunk to drive home, you're too drunk to use a chainsaw. No one here needs a limb sawed off. 73. Dazai, stop trying to create Five Nights at Freddy's fan game where the jump scare audio is replaced with Chuya's angry voicemails. I don't have the words to describe the headaches you've given me. 74. Akutagawa, never ever again let me walk into my office and find you in my chair, stroking Atsushi's head in his tiger form and chanting, well, 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 like a supervillain. I had nightmares for a week. 75. We are not going to have an Agency Beach episode. 76. Yes, I know about the weird man with white and purple hair living in the basement. You can stop trying to hide him. 77. Yosano, I understand you and Rampo got Atsushi to chase a laser pointer the other day and got the event on camera. Please send all the available clips to me at the nearest convenience, so I can go over them for any important information. 78. Just because Poe buys Rampo sweets doesn't make him Rampo's sugar daddy. It's the bright red Chevrolet Corvette and the new iPhone Poe brought him that makes him Rampo's sugar daddy. 79. Dazai, for the love of God, get a hobby. 1. Gaslighting Kanikita is not a hobby. 2. Trolling the Russians is not a hobby. 3. Baking is a hobby, but absolutely not. 4. Cyberbullying Akutagawa is not a hobby. 5. Suicide is not a hobby. 6. Making thirst traps is not a hobby. 7. Getting into Twitter fights with Chuya is not a hobby. 80. Rampo, we are all glad that you're no longer in your salty atheist phase. However, I'm less pleased to hear that the reason for this phase ending is due to your personal discovery that you were actually God all along. 81. Dazai, stop trying to make a counter-argument that I am God, Mori is Satan, Rampo is Jesus, and you are the Antichrist. 82. Poe, stop offering to write new versions of the Bible with these rules included. 83. Yosano, just because you and Rampo binged-watch Judge Judy doesn't make you a lawyer, and you can't get people in the agency to sue each other for entertainment value. 84. Chuya, teaching Kenji to call people slurs is not expanding his vocabulary. 85. Dazai, I actually do, in fact, know the difference between a stack of post-it notes with drawings of snails on them and your paperwork. 86. I appreciate all the spy work some of you have been undertaking at the Port Mafia as of late. However, I think it might be just as helpful if you were to learn something other than what the executives' bedrooms look like. 87. Yosano, stop threatening to take the Hippocratic Oath when you think someone is complaining too much. We literally would not live without you. 88. Dazai, not every single situation requires you to start singing Bohemian Rhapsody. 89. Kunikida, stop emailing me lists of ways that your co-workers/Dazai are violating OSHA's policies. Number 90. Dazai, stop volunteering yourself as a human sacrifice every time you're bored. Yosano will actually sacrifice you. 91. Yosano, stop trying to take Kenji under your wing and make him into your personal servant and gossip collector. 92. Kunikida, stop trying to split the agency into two separate territories at war with each other, led by you and Dazai. 93. Chuya, stop supplying Kunikidas with weapons from the Mafia to aid in his war so he can win against Dazai. 94. Dazai, not every case requires you to be a honeypot. In fact, I don't think I've ever assigned you a case requiring you to be a honeypot. 95. Atsushi, do not introduce Dazai to Mitsuki. You are playing with forces you could not possibly understand. 96. Mori and I have never been married, so stop saying we're in our divorce era. A. No, Dazai, you can't call Mori and tell him I'm taking custody of you. Please don't. I'm serious. Please. 97. Rampo, whatever the Geometry Dash lore book is that you're writing with Poe, I do not wish to hear about it ever again. 98. Yosano, stop telling people you got your medical knowledge from the Warrior Cat series. It's way more terrifying than just admitting you have no medical degree. 99. Dazai, if I can hear the music you're listening to from my office, your headphones are too loud. 100. Chuya, if you can't join Agency Game Night without breaking someone's nose, you can't join Agency Game Night. 101. Just because Atsushi will do your shopping for you doesn't mean you should ask him to. 102. Yes, I have seen your notes about wanting to take in a stray cat as our agency mascot. I am purposefully ignoring them, due to the fact that I already let you keep the other stray cat you brought in, and look how that turned out. This amazing fake was written by one of my talented Spotify viewers, Smiling Misery. This is actually their first work for BSD, which is mind-boggling to me for how insanely good it is. When I tell you I've spent 15 minutes before recording just laughing at the sheer ridiculousness of what I'm about to read. I never imagined Fukuzawa's POV would be so funny to read from, but here we are. The agency is the chaotic family ever, no doubt about that. I've also made a laughing compilation because I couldn't read with a straight face for the life of me. Listen to it. Stop framing Dazai's suicide notes or editing photos of them for your Pinterest boards. 8. Sigma male. 9. Don't purposely pull stupid pranks to see if I'll add them to this list. Dazai, just because you find the shipping container in the storage doesn't mean it's a sign that we should have an agency slumber party. Atsushi is an orphan and even he has managed to figure out how to use spreadsheets. We are not going to have an agency beach episode. Misery Smiles, I would love if you write more fics like this. This was legitimately soul nourishing for me. Hope you enjoyed, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Till next time.